So you're looking for an administrative assistant role. I've got some good news. 2/3 of bosses in a recent survey said that administrative personnel have a more promising career growth track than 5 years ago, which means you already have many of the skills you need to set yourself up for a successful career, if you can convey them on your resume. That's where I can help. I'm Anna, a professional career writer here at Resume.io. I'm in the office because I'm going to walk you through each step to create an administrative assistant resume that communicates your potential right from the top of the page. Let's get started. Before we can get to the writing, we need to figure out what our resume is actually going to look like. A good layout can really work in your favor by telling the hiring manager that you're organized and professional, all before they ever read a word on the page. I'm going to go with New York because it's simple but still stylish. So now we have a blank canvas that we can begin to fill in, starting with the header, which is really important for communicating your name and contact information. And let's make sure to use a professional email address. You'd be surprised by how many candidates are still applying with the one they made in middle school. That looks great. Now it's time for the summary. This is a concise run-through of your most compelling points. As an administrative assistant, the hiring manager doesn't need to know that you're a proud dog parent. It's the only space you have, though, for more free-form writing. So feel free to toss in a little personality here. Just keep it professional. Puppy anecdotes are great after you've got the job. I'm pasting in some content I prepared to speed things up. 3 or 4 sentences should do the trick. Like I said, the summary can tell the hiring manager a little more about who you are. Positive, descriptive language works best. I'm telling them how I do things and using interesting verbs and adjectives to get there. I'm not just reducing workloads, I'm relieving them. More descriptive. To make this even better, you could remind the hiring manager about some of your soft skills too. Let's add communicative here. Administrative support spans a lot of industries, so I'll specify which one my experience is related to. If you're still feeling a little stuck, you may want to check out our administrative assistant resume example in the link below. It's already filled with a bunch of sample sentences that you can customize for your own experience. Speaking of which, let's jump into that all-important employment history section. This is where we tell the hiring manager about the previous roles that should make you their first choice for this admin assistant position. Each job should start with the title you held, your employer, the start and end dates, and location. Now add a short list of accomplishments and skills you demonstrated in that role. Here, this isn't bad, but I think we could make it even better. Remember, descriptive language. So instead of did, you performed a range of administrative tasks. And you didn't just find errors, you reconciled data. This change in language also gives you a little more credit where it's due in terms of your office responsibilities. You're an office superhero. Now I'm adding another job entry. For this one, let's focus on how those bullet points illustrate the skills that could be most helpful to your employer. Obviously, proper administrative skills help keep everything running smoothly. But look how we can take that final bullet point from this to this. If you can quantify your achievement, all the better. This bullet point is now a much clearer example of a specific moment where your skills directly contributed to the organization running better. Oh, and make sure you keep this section in reverse chronological order with the most recent position at the top. Administrative assistants can come from a variety of backgrounds, so they aren't necessarily required to have a college degree. I'm going to enter a high school diploma here. If you do have a bachelor's degree, then it's fine to leave off your high school education. You could add bullet points to highlight good grades or classes you took that are relevant to your industry. The next section is, you guessed it, skills. This is where we'll tell the hiring manager about the most relevant skills in the position you're applying for. You can add in a mix of hard skills and soft skills. So inventory control, scheduling, proofreading, these all correspond to technical expertise. Then soft skills like time management or organization are more about the way you carry out your work. They can be harder to quantify, but both are important. That looks great. I'm going to add one more skill that directly relates to the software I can use. Software expertise is in demand among administrative assistants, so get specific about the programs you know how to use. I think we're done. Not so bad, right? You've just created a resume with all the key information that shows why you're the right fit for the job. But before you go, let me give you my top 5 tips to keep your resume extra sharp. Number 1, get to the point. Unless you've got decades of experience under your belt, it's best to keep your resume to just 1 page, at least when applying in the US or Canada. If you're overflowing with things to say, just adapt your resume for the specific situation by taking off certain bullet points when they're not relevant, for example. Number 2, spell check. I cannot stress this enough. Whether it's built into the resume builder or you have your grammar snob friend proofread it right before the deadline, please make sure there are no typos or other mistakes before you submit. And number 3, formatting counts. Make sure to balance the amount of white space and text so that the page is easy to read. And remember, a great looking resume will capture the hiring manager's attention and tell them you're serious about the position. Look for a template with a header that matches the tone of the company. And number 4, get specific. The job description is your personal cheat sheet. Look for duties and skills that are important to the employer and put them on your resume while being completely honest about your experience. And number 5, save it right. If you're emailing or printing, a PDF is the way to go because the formatting won't change between computers. But if you need to upload your resume to an online application, make sure to check if the employer prefers a Word doc. And that's all there is to it. You've got everything you need to write that job-winning resume. Make sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for even more videos on making your application the best it can be. Now it's time to go out there and get that job.